And
Derek,
yeah,
do you think that's like the
California.
tipping point, if you will? Like, because I'm hearing that it's kind of more like convenience and or ease. So the ease of adoption of whether it be EV or electrification or just a new way of doing something, is the function that we're looking at here.
There's Yeah,
Ease.
you're talking about there's a pretty dynamic problem here, right? So
Uh-huh.
on one hand, you go, why was there less effort put into public transit infrastructure and so much effort put into the auto industry? If you look at really who pulled the strings behind the scenes in this country's growth over that industrial growth era, it was, the people in control of capital also controlled all of the oil and gas, right? And so for them, if you look at things like the textile industry or auto industry, what was the primary driver behind that? It was extreme, beyond, capitalistic kind of mindset of some of these folks that were driving industry so for their own benefit, right? So if you look at why cotton not hemp, or you look at why auto not subway, like there was a reason behind that. And so that's a fundamental bedrock to why things evolved the way they did. Now we're seeing, I think a little bit more of I think along with the internet became a decentralization of information as well, right? So some of those guys also owned your main source of media, right? Now, that's still the case in legacy media, but we're starting to see this more ubiquity in information and understanding of things, right? So now we're seeing a little bit more public awareness around choice. And so to some extent, yes, I think the adoption is it was interesting to me just spending time in like a very, traditional oil and gas kind of, red state like Tennessee. People aren't anti EV. It's more so just that they're going for what I've got to do on a day to day basis, haul my hay, my tractor, whatever, all that stuff. It's just not quite there yet. But in lots of conversations out there, I wasn't hearing a lot of like, oh, FEV. My grandpa worked in the coal industry, and they're like, dude, my grandpa died because he worked in the coal, industry, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
they're not opposed to it. They're more just of like coming from a standpoint of what their viewpoint is, a little bit more of like what is helping keep American jobs protected, what is helping to keep, their industry going, right? And so I think the media tends to show it as like, oh, these people are just anti-EV. They're more just like pro, how do I run my farm, right? So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't know. I mean, that's obviously a subjective viewpoint that I have of just my experience. But the truth is I think that there's not a lot holding back a broader adoption than